Hello and welcome to Warblock. Today I'm going to play this game, Assault at Cross Kauwa, Niger. I'm just choosing it because it's there. Obviously it's a small one. I'm going to make it a short video. I've seen videos with 50,000 views and that's not a lot, but only 3 minutes. So it's sort of, you think, why don't bother making an hour-long video when a 3-minute video will get 500 times views of a video I've done on the same subject. Okay, but anyway, that's beside the point. This is going to be a short video, so essentially Boko Haram attack this thingy, this sort of group of units here. What's the actual sort of gameplay say? Boko Haram fighters attack Multinational Joint Task Force positions at Cross Kauwa. The attack is repulsed, with 50 Boko Haram fighters along with 2 Chadian soldiers killed. 50 Boko Harams, well, maybe I could change the grammar on that, killed, and 2 Chadian soldiers from the MNJTF killed, with another 20 injured. So it's basically an attack on the Multinational Joint Task Force positions at Cross Kauwa. Now the thing with Cross Kauwa is that you'd recognise where it is when you look at the greater map. And do I really want to bother looking at the greater map? Why not? Let's look at the Boko Haram. Do we have a Boko Haram insurgency page? Yeah, I mean, for example, we should be able to see it here, or at least where it's about. It's sort of there. And you should recognise this place, Go On. We'll have another look at that in one of the other maps, perhaps. Yeah, I think we can see it here, or at least something. So there it is under there. I'm pretty sure that that's it. Obviously I can't do map view, but you'll recognise it because this is the start of the swampy area, and there's the whatever that is, Dago, I can't see it from here, but Doro, Daga, Doragowan. This is the sort of this is where one of the army bases was, of the MNJTF, whatever it is, the Multinational Task Force. They were based there, and Boko Haram actually attacked directly in there, which was an embarrassment. So, but this position, this road, is quite key in the sense that it props up again and again. I'm not sure it's key strategically, but it sort of, I think, represents basically the limit of sort of, accessible roads towards Lake Chad and the sort of marshlands around it. And so that's sort of here. So it's quite significant in that sense that it's sort of, and we might be able to see it again here. Yeah, this is sort of, so it's in there, probably there. So that's probably Borno, and so you get the sort of the same thing again and again at different scales in different proportions. Here the lake is a lake, not marshland, etc., etc. So you sort of, it all sort of adds up. But there's only 4 scenarios for that. I'm pretty sure I've done a few more. But anyway, so obviously it's not going to be as short a video as I maybe hoped. So basically the thing is, what I'm saying, it's significant, and in this case the Boko Haram lose, but it's significant in the sense that it just looks like a stupid game. There's just 2 roads, and it probably took me not a very long time, and people are probably thinking, well, it's not much of a game because there's not much strategy. But when you put that into perspective and its position, and you know how it fits in with all the other maps, and obviously all the maps are slightly different, and I quite like that about Warblog, because I think it could be sort of stated that, well, there's no consistency in the maps, but I think that sort of variance appeals to me in a sort of semi-perverse sense, because you get different perspectives, and you can start to look at things and you can see that, and what it does, it doesn't tell you that this is right or this is wrong. It just gives you an indication of, maps can modify your perceptions on these issues that you're dealing with, and I think it's not a major issue, but I think it's worth it. it's worth leaving there as a sort of something to consider, because it helps you understand that the map is only, you know, sort of an aid in understanding the geography and the terrain and, you know, topography of whatever sort of area you're looking at. You know, and this is even, you know, observable in between sort of different, you know, games. I've seen people on, you know, compare two games, you know, 2 games of Waterloo, and look at, you know, or 3 games, and look at the difference in the variation in topography, and where people have put hills in and where people have put ridges in, and where you can and can't see over hills, and dead zones over hills, and some games have them, some games don't, and you know, even variations down to sort of who was present, and you know, how you know, the sort of strengths they had. I think one person did a video or series of videos on Bin Min Phu. I can't remember what it is. But, you know, the thing is, you get different maps, and it's just interesting to observe that variation anyway. So we're going to get there. So basically we're going to attack. And so essentially, to some extent, for that reason, it's quite a significant game. And then what we got here, and this sort of what happens next, is somewhat relevant to my whole sort of perspective on looking at these things. Oh, he's run out of movement. Oh, he's run out of movement. That's crazy. Well, can you imagine that? Well, no wonder they lost. So what? What are we going to do? They did change colour. Look, they did change colour. Right. A 12. They tried to fight them and they lost. Oh god. Sorry, it's just I have a saying I say to myself, I say it all too frequently, you can't make this up. I constantly say that. You know, if something bad happens, you know, like a bus falls over and squashes me, I sit there, I say, you can't make this up. This is so unlikely. But it's usually when something falls, you know, I catch something somewhere, or computer goes wrong. The things that happen to me, it's like that. You can't make it up. You know, that's run out of petrol, just stop there without being able to attack. When they do attack, they get the worst dice roll ever. All we need is something surreal happening here. So they've managed to sort of get there, and they're not depressed because they are irregulars. So we're going to attack. They didn't get, yeah, because it was an exchange. 2-1, an exchange. So they got an exchange point then. Okay. Well, that's that. Get to attack back. Oh, and this time they get the 1-1. Okay. And so I'm going to complete that by moving off the board. I'm actually going to try and do that. I wonder if it works. It's been so long. Yeah. And that's that. Now the thing is, the point I made earlier, which was a little more esoteric and I didn't complete, leaving it till now, is that you can play that again and again and you get different variations of results. And I always find that quite fascinating to consider that, you know, the real life battles, if you were to sort of do them again and again, you might get different results. I mean, when they attacked these multinational task force units positions, a lot of it would have been chance. I mean, how much is chance? But the thing is, you never have that opportunity, and it's not so much something that's enduring and never and sort of specific to military history, but it's certainly something that's typical with military history. But it's with all history. You know, what happens if the Titanic hadn't sunk? You know. But in battles, well, what happened if they'd won? What happened if they'd lost? Well, the fact is, what happened is what happened, and that's it. and that's how history is made. But I think it's very sort of appealing to sort of consider the variance on that, and then to sort of, I don't know, consider its implications. Anyway, I'm not going to do any more because I want to get this one done, because I actually want to play another video. I just thought I'd do this quickly. I was going to play this a few times, but due to the interlude, I'm not going to do it. So basically that was it. They come along, they attack, they've lost a few people. In this case, they probably took a few casualties on the Multinational Joint Task Force units, and then they ran away, and that's probably what happened, in real life, except with 50 casualties versus 2. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.